Hey everybody, welcome to Do You Believe on Paranormal Zone TV. I want to thank you all so much for joining us tonight. And for those of you who may be new to the show, if you would please subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Don't forget to give the show a like. And tonight we've got an awesome show. My guests tonight, Phil Siracusa, Julia Siracusa, Vanessa Hogel, and Marie Vargas. And I'm going to have each one of them tell you a little bit about themselves. So here we go. Let's welcome everybody to the show. So Marie Vargas, would you please tell the viewers a little bit about yourself?
Hello, my name is Marie Vargas. I also know this picture you are posting. I'm just most recently
Uh-oh. Marie, we got a problem with your audio all of a sudden.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
Hang on a minute.
there you go. Talk into the microphone.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. All right, hello world. It's Marie Vargas. I'm a celebrity singer.
Oh, what's wrong with your... There's something wrong with your audio, honey.
Hello?
Yeah, now it's a... Try it again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah? Go ahead.
All right. Better?
Oh, yeah, go ahead and see if that's... Go ahead.
All right, so, it's Marie. Celebrity psychic, live bitch. Hope y'all can hear me, spirit. Come on, guys. I'm not going to exercise you. Give me a break. Yeah. Scared? Don't be. I'm here to bitch, not as a bitch. Can you hear me, folks?
Yeah, but you keep cutting out for some reason.
Well, it's the damn spirits. I'm not going to go into the exorcism prayer, okay, you guys? Chill out. Come on.
She was just fine a second ago.
I know. I'm getting spectral coherence. Look, you guys, I promise. I'm not going to utter any words of power. I promise.
Okay, well...
Okay, you now?
Yeah, well, barely. Speak into your microphone if you can.
All right. Let me see where my microphone is. Hang on. All right, Casper. I'm not here to get you, baby. Chill out.
All right, so tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, honey.
All right, I am the Hollywood witch, obviously feared by the spirits in the spirit world because they're afraid of an off words of power, and I'm not. I'm here to do an interview, not an exorcism. Everybody calm and relax. All right, I am. I've been a psychic for 20 years. I started out as a psychic 5 years ago. I was most recently on Spectra. I predicted Kim Kardashian's meltdown. That would be more Kanye than April. And I also predicted that Moonlight would win Best Picture. La La Land was the favorite. Now, I'm here to discuss ghosts. I'm starting to be really good friends with Lisa. We are moving forward with a project to familiarize her with ghosts and real harm.
Okay. Vanessa, honey, would you tell the viewers a little bit about yourself before we start the show?
Oh, sure. Hi, Vanessa Hogel here. 45 years old, done this my whole life. Author of 2 books. My third will be going to print in about a week. It's called Walking with Ghosts. Remote viewer for teams all over the world. Love myself some Julia. And hi, Phil. Love you too. And I'm excited. Let's just see what we can do with this. This should be fun. I've read for the Horsefly Chronicles a few times, and I'm very interested to see what's going to happen now.
And Julia Siracusa.
Hi, I'm Julia Siracusa. I am an empath, and I'm also very new to my gifts. Unlike Vanessa, I really started branching out into my gifts until I was 42 years old. So this is all new to me, and I'm taking it day by day. And I can't wait to have this show tonight.
And Phil Siracusa.
Everybody, this is Phil Siracusa, the author of the Horsefly Chronicles. Tonight's show should be great. We're going to bring forward some evidence. Marie, Vanessa, my wife. You know, I put a lot of work, effort, and energy to bring the world the light and the darkness of what goes on behind these walls at the home. Sometimes absolutely nothing will happen, and other times all hell will break loose. My furniture does not fly through the air and my walls do not bleed. However, the shadow spirits and the entities of the home are present up until today. Tonight, we're going to show pictures, some video clips of October 8th, which we had an event here at the Horsefly Chronicles home. And I do this not for myself. I do this for everybody to learn, discover, research, and understand that entities from the other side do exist within the physical realms. So, Noreen, what I'd like to do is if we could throw up some pictures, and I'm going to explain a little bit about each one.
Sure. Now, there's a history what's going on
Yes.
here before all this started happening. And this started way back. And we do have a full show on that, which was absolutely awesome. When this show ends, I will put up a link to the several other shows I've done with Phil that are outstanding shows. Now, Phil, so for those who may not have seen those other shows, can you just go back to the history where this all started years ago?
Yes. Yes. My intent is not to disrespect anybody's beliefs or religion, but it's to explain to the world my experience, and I bring it to you as how it developed and where I am today. The Horsefly Chronicles is a story about a man who remembers sitting on a campfire with Native Americans, and he died in an explosion. That person would have been me. He remembers being transcended into heaven. He remembers heaven because of the beautiful nature, the no pain, the unbelievable feeling that heaven brought him. He was with an angelic being. Description is blonde hair, blue eyes, and very, very energetic. Heaven does exist. Again, it's not for me to tell anybody what to believe. It's only my experience. This other person had told me that I needed to go and she will come back for me. In the blink of an eye, in a flash, I was pulled into darkness and I took in hate, pain, negativity, and destructional mental emotion. I was in hell. How do I know I was in hell? Hell does exist, and demons are real, and so is Satan himself. And people ask me today, what do demons look like? Our fears. Satan knows our fears. There's nothing but pain and torture. And it's like the inside of a volcano, if you could picture it in your mind, with over 100 different levels. It's tremendous, with numerous people, hundreds of thousands of people dying and dying over and over and being destructively put into pain. It does exist. Coincidentally, a couple years ago, I did go on the internet and find the exact picture and description of hell that I had envisioned. So someone else clearly was there. Multiple people, and it's for those that come forward. I was pulled into a crack of light at one point. This light consumed me. I started to take back who I was, the true soul. Emotion, love, peace, and warmth. On September 16, 1967, I was born in Staten Island University Hospital during a massive hurricane in Staten Island, New York. During my life and through adolescence, I've had nightmares. Back in the 70s, nightmares were dismissed, but then they became night tremors, telling my parents that I see things in the room. I'm not a psychic, I'm not a medium. I'm just a person, like everybody else. But I've had these experiences that I bring to the world. The older I became, the stronger that these dark attachments became. I would call them shadow people because I would see them really quick by the corner of my eye. Growing up in the 80s now, they were dismissed as maybe bad lighting in a home or hallucinations. I can tell you that I was a person that never drank or was into any kind of drugs. I was a person that was into health and fitness. So, I tried to live the normal life, and I had a really good teenage life, but I always wanted to know these entities that I felt were following me from hell, because I felt their presence. And again, there is an episode on there that Noreen's going to click to the link, and I explain everything about heaven and hell. I wanted to really understand the other side, and I went to the Ouija board back in the late 80s and tried to understand it with a group of friends. At first, nothing happened, but then the floodgates had opened, and that crack was now wide open, and the spiritual world acted as a lighthouse to me and me to it. From that point on, I began to consume darkness. I purchased the Book of Darkness, which I call Gosha. It's the book of the devil, the 72 demons based off of King Solomon's work. I began to study it, try to understand it, and do rituals to see if it would work, to bring me closer to it, understanding who was following me. In the mid-90s, we made contact for the first time very strongly with a girl named Sarah in Staten Island. Today, there is a lot of theory on who Sarah actually is. Throughout my years of my life, she has guided me. Some people say she's earthbound, interdimensional, another being from another time. I am not that person to tell you who she is. Tonight, Marie, Vanessa, these are people that are very, very important. My wife, that can communicate. Again, the one thing I've learned is that some of the best simple measures of communicating with the other side is not the best at thousands of dollars in paranormal equipment. It could be a simple camera, a flashlight, or even a candle. And the best way to contact them is through sleep. Because when your thoughts are clear, they come in through your dreams. So my friends and the world tonight, I'm here to tell you that the Horsefly Chronicles home is very, very active. Last week I tried to actually have churches from Christian and Catholic backgrounds come here and remove the entities. I've learned a lot, but unfortunately these entities play hide and seek and they come back. I can tell you that when you play with the devil and the demons, they come back harder. You don't see them for what they really are, but they know your every thought and they know the move before you're going to make it. And I can stress that very clearly. So what we're going to do is, that was a quick recap, and we're going to go through pictures, video, and then we're going to talk about an event that happened October 8th with some of the paranormal teams that were at the Horsefly house, and then we're going to bring it in to Marie and Vanessa and my wife and explain their take on what they think we're dealing with and how many.
All right. Phil sent me some pictures to show the viewers tonight. And so, Phil, there's no particular order. So there's this one picture. It's
Yes.
outside of your house. There's an image. To me, it looks like a cat. I'm not sure. An image onto the left-hand side. It looks like wings. And then there's the light coming down from your ceiling. That's a bright. So, can you explain that image? Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Well, yeah, actually, Noreen, give me 1 second because I can't see it because you can't put it on the screen, but it does.
You want to go into your
So-
Facebook page?
I'm going to have to go into the page at the same time, so just give me 1 second so I can actually explain to
Okay.
the audience what we're looking at.
You could also go.
Marie and Vanessa, can you see these pictures?
I can't see them at all.
I'm going to pull it up in a minute. Hang on.
I'm going to look, I'm going to pull mine up too as well. Phil, don't forget, I have, based on everything that you just spoke about, I have 2 very important questions I need to ask you when we get to that point, okay?
Yes.
Phil,
Okay.
can you bring up the YouTube channel?
I'm bringing it up. It's just taking a second.
I've got the YouTube channel up. Where's the picture?
It's showing. Oh, sorry. Here it is right now.
I don't see the picture yet.
There it is right now.
I don't see it.
It's coming. It's 30-second
I
delay.
don't see it either.
It's
There'll be a 30-second delay.
But I don't know. I clearly see an image. But, first to me it looks like a cat with ears. Then it looks like wings. I have no idea what that is.
I need to see the picture.
Okay, there it is.
Oh, I see it.
Okay, so basically, that picture, now that's the light in front of the house. It's a reflection of an entity. And what it's doing is actually, am I up?
No, honey, that was me. I had to turn my phone down. Because I'm trying, I see it.
Basically, that's a sip. Yeah, it's got 2 horns, a head, a smile with the eyes, and that's what you're looking at. You see, demons play trickery, and they want you to know when they're around, but they can fool the mind and deceive us. Deception is the biggest name that I can give them, because they're always doing things like this. So if we can go ahead now. Now, one other thing in that picture, I'm sorry?
Okay, so you studied Solomon's Book of Magic, the Arbitel of Magic, correct? Because when you talked about Felicia, right? All right, so you already know how to tell the difference between a demon and a djinn, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I agree. But what people don't understand is that what they think are demons are really just the opposites of angels. They can appear to look exactly the same. The only difference between an angel and a demon is angels don't mind people so much. Demons, they will play with us and they will trick us. But a common trick that the demon will do is a demon will take light and flash it in front of itself to make itself look like an angel. So somebody looking at that picture is going to say, well, that's wings and it's an angel. How you tell the difference between an angel and a demon when you command the demon is to tell the demon or the angel to turn around. From behind, the demon is black. An angel is white all the way around. That's really
Very
nice.
true. Very true.
That's right.
Ironically, when I see this picture, I don't see angel at all. And what it reminds me of, personally, it looks like a hieroglyph.
You know, Julia and I were just talking about Anubis. Remember?
It's like a hieroglyph.
Anubis may already be there. Anubis is the god of the dead. And Julie and I were talking about, hey, you know what? You need somebody to manage that situation down there. And Anubis has experience. And it's funny because those look like Anubis's ears. Like Anubis is like, hey, Julia, I'm already here.
It does.
And I did not know y'all had spoken about that. But if I had to be the name for this, it would have an Egyptian quality. It is like a hieroglyph.
Yeah, Jules, maybe Anubis is already in the basement.
It's like a projector.
That would be great.
I know, he's already there.
Oh my God! You know what?
I hope so.
I totally
I know.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
Doesn't it look like Anubis? I mean, my God.
Yeah, to me, it screams hieroglyph, and the energy that I get off of it is Egyptian.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm getting goosebumps. Look. I was just at lunch with another witch, and we were talking about Julia's situation. And my girlfriend was like, you need to tell Julia about Anubis. And the lights overhead started to sway back and forth. So maybe they're already there. And it's funny, too, because my audio is working out, and that's because I just did...
Yeah, it wasn't working before.
Yeah, so you see, Jules, you can get them to do what you want them to do. You just have to kind of be bossy, you know?
True. I'm too nice.
Okay, Lorraine.
All right. So, Phil, I'm going to show the picture. All right. Next picture is the. We've shown this before in one of our other shows, but you have the two orbs on the blue wall in the basement.
I'm just waiting for it to pull
Yeah,
up.
well, here too.
I'm looking at my phone waiting for it to show up too.
Yeah.
And I am unbelievably nauseous. There's one, I can't see it yet, but there's one smaller and one larger, and to me it feels like there was a struggle between the smaller one and the larger one. Like there's anger, there's a man who is unbelievably angry and domineering and abusive, and he loves to fight, and that is what he lives for, is to just beat the fuck out of whatever he can. And there's this child just cowering in the corner, and that's to me what the lights represent, the blue lights represent, is one trying to overpower the other, and it's making me so sick. Does that make any sense?
This
I'm feeling a little bit
I would
of
agree.
nausea.
This picture was bought. I'm sorry?
You know, Vanessa,
Right.
let me give you a tip. This is devil's shoestring. It is an herb, okay? I carry it with me all the time. This will keep you from getting sick, Vanessa. You need to have a couple of these in your bra. And they will keep you from getting sick. But this is a common herb that demonologists use to prevent nausea. They're like
paranormal team that ever came to the Horsefly Chronicles home in 2014 in the summer, and they did a complete investigation of the home. One of their team members got sick. The other one was taking pictures. And now, here's the funny thing, and I want everybody to listen to this very clearly. I don't see dead people. I see shadows, right? I see shadows that are dark circles with my eyes, and then all of a sudden, maybe sometimes a light would flicker. Well, coincidentally, when I seen the shadows, one of the team members seen it too, because I really thought it was my eyes. And they took a picture, and there you see it. And most orbs, I would agree, can be dust particles, because you could shake a blanket and snap a shot. But the true orbs, what I've learned and how I've experimented, is that if I'm in the Horsefly home and I ask these spirits to go to one part of the basement or room, and they do listen, because they don't listen most of the time, they will go and I will take a picture and orbs will show. And that is truly amazing. It's spirit energy. So, Noreen, can we go to the next picture?
Okay, hold on. Okay, so the next one, Phil, this one, hold on for a minute, is interesting. It's the one, there's a picture of a doorway, and somebody circled, put yellow circles on it. There's looks like faces peeking out from the side of the doorway. Oops, here we go. Testing, testing. There's audio now. Why am I not getting audio on that picture?
It's spirit interference.
That's weird. Hold on.
I got a private message from Tammy Sifford saying there was no audio.
Yeah, okay, there is now. I don't know why. Here it goes. It's
spectral. You know what? Let me start burning these.
That happens.
Well, and if I might make...
Vanessa, you okay?
Did y'all not see that? I got hit in the head by something.
I just seen something.
I saw it.
They would never do that to me. Let me tell you something. They would be too afraid to do that to me.
Trust
They'd
me.
be too afraid, girl.
Just wait
That's
till
why I said, Vanessa, you okay?
Yeah. The thing
That's
I
weird.
don't know if everyone is seeing the same thing that I'm seeing on this picture. the gentleman that I am seeing, I'm going to call him that, in this picture with the yellow circles, I'm seeing him in profile. And his face is
Really?
perfect.
Yeah, Vanessa, do you remember the pictures of the ancient Babylonians and the
Yes.
Sumerians? Isn't the Anunnaki, isn't that an Anunnaki profile?
Okay.
Yes.
Phil, just because she just said that, I have to ask you something that I was going to wait about asking you, but I must do it now because this is leading into it. You were born during a massive hurricane in Staten Island, correct? That's what you just said.
Yes.
Okay. Water
Yes.
is a known factor in amplifying paranormal energy and
Yeah.
activity. Okay. You were born in that energy field, and I'm gonna freak out here for a fucking second. I just need to know this. Okay. You were born in that energy field. You continued on through your life trying to find ways to focus that energy through different types of paranormal activities, Ouija boards, things like that. I need to know if symbols have ever been put or shown up in any of the homes that you lived in, especially after you began to have communication with Sarah. I need to know that. And I need to know if one of them looks like this. I've got to draw this out real quick.
Oh, this is exciting. Let me see. I bet it's a hieroglyphic. Come on, girl.
Did it look like this?
Oh, here, Vanessa. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me pull this up. Okay.
Huh.
The pyramid on the bottom, yes.
That's Enochian.
I called it.
Yes.
That's Enochian. It's considered
This
the
is,
language.
this is amazing.
It's they're the Anunnaki. So it's funny, but we were having lunch. I have a lot of witch friends here in LA, and we were having lunch the other day, and one of my girlfriends, he did a ritual with me almost a year ago in my apartment when the Galactic Federation showed up. It was like the Horsefly Chronicles. Dude, the Galactic Federation passes through the Horsefly Chronicles house all the time. She was right. It's the Anunnaki.
Amazing.
Enochian is considered the language of the angels. And what you experienced, what they wanted you to experience between heaven and hell it was a lesson. It was a lesson. You were meant to, sorry, I'm looking at myself, fan myself in this fucking video, and I'm just going to put it away. But you were taken to both of those realms to gather information. Okay, what you saw, the person that you saw, the blonde hair, the blue eyes, the angelic quality, the high energy, that was a comforting vision to you, because that same type of vision was around when you were born. There was somebody who was extremely important in your life during your early childhood that held those same qualities. And so when you had this experience later on, and a person was brought in to take you to these two different dimensions to show you that they do exist, at least in a fashion, okay, depending on religious beliefs and everything. Basically, they're the opposite ends of the spectrum, good and evil, regardless of how your religious beliefs are. The reason that you saw the person the way that you did was because that was the only way that your mind was going to accept what you were being shown. That person was given the body, the voice, the hair, the eyes, the skin tone, the smoothness of the skin, the lithness of the body, a very comforting, acceptable image so that you would travel with. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Phil, that would mean that you are the gatekeeper. What? That would mean that you guys were drawn to that house to be the gatekeepers, which is why Anubis are there. Exactly. And Anubis, by the way, the civilizations, the Babylonians, the Sumerians, and the Egyptians and the Hindus, all were very closely linked because they all had extraterrestrial visitations, as we know. So Anubis is not too far away from the Anunnaki. You understand? Remember the shows about
Yes.
the peoples in Angkor Wat and Egypt and in South America, all having pyramids directed towards specific stars. So, if
Very
if,
true.
if
That's
that's
very true.
if that's the case, then you guys are the designated gatekeepers of the house.
Can you own a cat
Very interesting. You know,
No.
because of your dogs?
Who, us?
Yeah. Can you own a cat?
oh no, because we have bad allergies, so
He's
we're
allergic,
to
otherwise
cats.
we would.
You have dogs?
Yes.
Okay, so there's Anubis right there. There's Anubis, the
She's
jackal.
supposed to be psychic, so
Yeah, I was telling you, my dog was kidnapped several years ago, and I asked Anubis to bring her back, and he did. And we just saw a picture of his ears
Wow.
hanging in your basement. So Anubis is Anubis. It is. There you go. Anubis, the guardian of the gates, the lord of the dead. Who
Very
made
interesting. I have to,
the feather.
very interesting. You know, I feel like tonight, Noreen, we're getting closer because we've been doing episodes for, you know, I know you 3 years now. You have an incredible show. We're getting closer. I mean, this is a great show. Really great show.
It is. It's awesome.
Noreen, let's get to
Okay,
the next
one
show.
other thing. There was a question. Are all these pictures from your house?
yes.
Yes.
Yes,
That's
now,
what.
different homes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, Phil, we've shown this one before in one of our shows. It's you standing behind the door. There's a red curtain behind you, and then there's 3 orbs up toward the ceiling. Oops, I'm showing this right now. Up toward the ceiling. See what Vanessa Marie can pick up.
Hang on. Let me see. Let me get
It
the
ain't showing yet.
I'm not there. I have to go back to the picture. Hang on. It is.
Can I explain really quick and then Vanessa Marie can jump in?
Yes, please.
Okay. In 2007, July, I had an encounter in our first home in Easton, Pennsylvania. It was an alien encounter. Now, what happened to me that I remember is that I was levitated, turned around, and something was implanted in me, my skull. I woke up the next day thinking it was a bad dream, a nightmare. And what actually happened is the room was a little disheveled. I asked my wife if she remembered. She didn't remember anything. A friend of mine, who was a hardcore biker, motorcycle guy, says, "Did you hear about the UFO sighting in Easton, PA?" I ignored it and said no because I thought it was a dream. I was in a bad nightmare. At the time, I worked for a lawn care company doing telemarketing sales. And I remember after that point, whenever I had a phone to my left ear, I felt tingling, but I couldn't understand it. I discovered, I went on to one of the UFO websites, and it's documented, Noreen, I actually forwarded to you the last show or two, that someone had caught a picture of a UFO when it actually happened. You know, the thing that happens is that you don't know reality from a dream when these things take over. But that's what happened. Now, not too long after, there was the triangle of circles. Can I explain it? No, I cannot. But I can only tell people what I know, and there it is. So let's unfold this, Vanessa Marie.
The triangle is symbolic of the triad. It's also a gateway. It's also a very popular symbol in the Masonic orders because it's conducive to power. I was just talking to Julia about getting a brass or copper pyramid for her to meditate under, because I think that if you guys had one of those in the basement, close to the room where all the power is, with intent, you could consolidate that power and bring it into you. Because as I was telling Julia, in the past, gatekeepers usually got rewarded. You know what I'm saying? You guys are doing the job of guarding the gates between this dimension and the others. You should be living in a mansion.
Well, they kind of really are by my standards, but
You know what I'm saying? It's like the gatekeeper words, the gatekeepers were the closest thing we had between the priests and the gods. I mean,
they were akin to royalty.
yes,
Royalty.
you guys are living in a mansion. I mean, and I'm getting. Can you guys see this? I'm getting goosebumps everywhere. All this Egyptian symbolism is coming through, and it's like not just Anubis, but Isis and Bastet, and the dogs and the ley lines. Now, here's the thing: people don't realize is we're built on top of ley lines. You guys need to get a pyramid in the basement.
A lot of people don't know that.
The thing is, not only do they need to get a pyramid, what they need to have with that pyramid, though, because I agree with what Maria's saying here, as far as the tingling and the buzzing that you felt your left ear, that is right by your left ear in that picture. The way that you're standing with the picture, it is right here. You need the pyramid, again, preferably brass, but you need one that has, exactly, copper, that has a lyrical aspect to it, whether it has bells attached to it. You need a way to control the energy that is in that particular room, that's in that area. You need to be able to walk into it and ding, you are now in control. Bing, you're the one that is focusing and corralling and harnessing that energy in order to show your dominance.
Yes. Well, Julia and I did a ritual. We can talk about it now, okay? Julia and I did a ritual a couple days ago where we were watching each other and we were doing video, and she was in. Were you in the part of the basement where all the power is?
Yes.
Okay, so we did a ritual together where we invoked a goddess, and I wish we had filmed this because in Hinduism you have to ring the bell to give Shakti grip or enough sound vibration to manifest. And while we were doing this ritual together, there was a red orb right next to the candle, and it stayed there through the entire thing. It just appeared out of nowhere. You know what? We got to film that the next time. Yeah. So we did it. Okay, so Phil, while you've been doing it, Julie and I got on a broom and we did some flying and got in touch with the goddess. I totally had to tell you it's the first time, but yes,
that is something. That is something you need to do. You also need a mirror in that room.
No, but wait. Before you put the mirror up, you have to learn, because mirror is a portal. I'm gonna have to teach you how to open it and how to close it. And a black mirror, the black mirror, is the mirror to the other dimension. And I have to teach you how to make that. And we gotta do it at the right time, under the moon. Yeah, that one.
This is black.
We're gonna have a lot of fun when you fly into town, girl. Let's stay in the same hotel.
This was made for me by Gwen Clapper. So this was handmade for me, my scrying mirror. And we gotta get to work on that. Now, excuse my big old chunky butt self, but I gotta put it back up.
I need one of those.
Yes, you do.
We've been. Yeah. Bill, you're Darren. Sorry.
From Bewitched, honey. From Bewitched.
Yeah, you're Darren.
The one that everybody likes, not the other one. Go ahead.
Yeah, that everybody likes.
Well, that's a good thing.
I want to be.
Noreen, can we get to the next picture?
Yeah, I want to show the picture with the I hope I can remember the scratches on the ceiling. Or is that a wall or a ceiling in the attic? What is that?
I'm just waiting for it to pull up.
Okay, let me see it. Are you guys familiar with the Hindu deity Rahu? Rahu, the Lord of Darkness. Rahu is
Something just came in the basement.
Yeah.
As you just said that, a dark shadow just came by.
I knew it was Rahu. Okay, I have worked with Rahu off and on for years. I don't work with him regularly because he can be very dangerous. But in this particular case, I kept on getting messages. Rahu, Rahu, Rahu. Rahu is the king of the Rakshasas, the flesh eaters, scratchers. He comes through during the eclipse.
That's interesting. You said that, yeah.
Yeah,
Is
it's
this ceiling, the
So-
floor, or wall?
Jai Rahu. Look up.
This is okay. So let me explain to you what happened here. This is
Okay.
our first home, an old Victorian house in Easton, PA, and we started to have some ghostly activity. And I was with the kids on the computer. My wife was upstairs, and something scratched the bottom of the floor, which they would have been in the basement. And you heard a scratch going through the whole basement. And I have to tell you that I says, well, maybe it's a squirrel or a rat, but then it was just too loud. And what happened was the people that lived next door,
I heard
they
it.
came out of their house and went on the front porch. And like, did you hear that? And we went out on our front porch. And this thing wanted to be known. Now, that home was built in 1918. We were afraid to go in the basement to see what happened. But the next day, the neighbors came over, and there you see it, that something was trying to get our attention.
Okay, those are scratches from a Rakshasa. Rakshasas are ruled by Rahu. They're the ones with the claws and the teeth and everything. And when I say his name, they're doing things because they're like, oh, they figured out who the boss is. Yeah, Rahu's their boss.
So you said that this was on the floor, or was this on the ceiling and you were above it, so it felt like it was on?
Well, it was underneath us.
It was underneath.
Us, so that would be the ceiling.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
It was the
in
ceiling of
that,
the basement.
in that area where this was, if I was standing directly underneath it, underneath where these scratches were made, if I went behind me and to the right, was there like a storage area closed in, like a closet area?
That's amazing
Yes.
that you just said that.
Yes.
I have to jump in. That is
Crap.
simply amazing. The home had a concrete stoned wall blocked off from the basement that we couldn't get into, and we don't know why it was there.
Mhm.
That is amazing that you picked that up. No one has ever gotten into there because it was built for no one to get into.
Mhm.
So how did you get that?
Because I saw it.
Viewer.
I see it.
Amazing. That
Went
is amazing.
inside of it.
I've never spoke about that.
You go, girl.
Thank you.
Hey, can I ask you
Wow.
about the thing that made the scratches? Does it kind of look like a rat?
It takes that form.
Yeah, it's a Rakshasa.
But it doesn't. The thing, my patron goddess is Kali. So
Oh my God! No wonder. Wait,
Yeah.
Vanessa?
that's. Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah, okay. Okay, so no, we're sisters, girl.
But
We're perfect.
just like with Kali, where you have the multiple arms, that is what I see with this. Only the shape and the size of the head changes, but it's almost has an octopus quality to it.
It's
But
a
yeah, but what it is, but the face of it changes. But if there's a person that's inside that area, in that house.
Yes. That's
Yeah.
what I always felt. It
Yeah,
was
there's
built
first-
for a reason.
Well, and the crying that you would hear, because you would hear it in your sleep, Julie, and it would wake you up. There would be like almost like a whimpering, like a crying that would be heard. And because I mean, I can hear it now, and you hear it loud, and
I'll be right back.
quieter and quieter and quieter, like they were suffocated, like they were put in that wall or in that area alive, and then they slowly die.
I would agree.
That's what it feels like.
Amazing.
Thank you. I don't know why.
And I've never spoke about that room before in any episode ever. No one even knew about that room. I'm impressed. Noreen, can we get to the next picture?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so the next one, a good one. Which one do I like? Okay, this one you sent me. You said I have to show it. This happened at the last investigation at your house, and it looks like maybe a chandelier in your house that's all bright.
Vanessa, the reason why I had to go off camera was while you were seeing that, I got a stabbing pain right in the middle of my chest.
Yeah, it's just not. It's not good.
Yeah, I gotta burn some more of this stuff. I'm getting it right here.
Above the belly button, not quite to the sternum.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about
Okay.
the little dude between the railings.
Yeah, so Noreen, don't let this picture go. Let's keep it up for a little bit. I have
Okay.
a lot to say about this picture.
Sure.
Oh my God.
Vanessa, you gotta look.
This was 1 week ago. My
Oh.
friends, what you actually see is what you see. Some people call them skinwalkers, shapeshifters. This being is able to manifest in what it wants to be. And this is an amazing picture. Amazing. And what happened was I was sitting downstairs. The light started to flash. Something told me, just take a picture. Again, I'm not an investigator or anything like that. I took a picture. If you blow it up with your fingers, you see what you see. Some people say it's a boy, a girl, or a shapeshifter, or a skinwalker, or something that's even interdimensional. But there it is. So let's take it away, girls.
To me, it's on all fours. And the problem that I have with this particular picture, because I saw it when you put it on Facebook, because this is the one you put on Facebook, right, that was circled.
Yes.
And I don't know why I didn't.
Yes.
I don't know why I didn't comment then, because I didn't know we were doing this. So, but that's weird. But it's on all fours, the way that I see it. And here's the odd thing: this isn't the first time it's been in there. Because what it does on all fours is it can actually go up the walls and actually climb on the ceiling and come back down. And it's weird because floors mean nothing. It can actually, like, let's say that I didn't live in an apartment, that I lived in a 2-story home. Well, it could actually climb up this wall, go across my ceiling, come down this wall, and actually go between the floorboards and the floor joist and actually end up in the room below it. So you never know where the sound is coming from, because floors mean nothing.
This is not good though, Vanessa.
No.
And I tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm feeling like this thing is hungry. Now it feeds off the energy from the portal, but the reason why it's out and about, this is one that we're gonna have to take care of, you and I, Vanessa, because this thing is hungry, and it doesn't just eat the energy from the ley line. It looks for living energy. Chi.
Well, there have been problems with the animals that have been caused by this particular thing.
It's hungry. Yeah.
It can't really go towards Phil or Julia or the boys, so it goes for the animals. And I feel like there have been periods where they have been drained, where they're very lethargic and they don't
This
move
is
and eat a lot.
Vitella. This is what's called a vitella, and it's sort of similar to what we in the West would perceive as a vampire. This is probably the origin of that legend.
More like a psychic vampire, energy vampire.
Yes. Now, Kali is.
Vanessa, I have to say, wait, I have to jump in here because we had a dog that wouldn't eat, and then now we have another one. I have a pit bull, and she's very healthy, but she just stops eating her dog food, and then I have to figure out what I'm feeding her. So
It's not what you're feeding
is that? I mean,
off of her.
It's eating
I
her.
had a feeling something was off.
Mm-hmm.
I had a
There
feeling
was
something was off.
There's an area in the house where she doesn't.
I did?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't. It sounds stupid to say, I guess, when you're thinking about it, but you need to use saging around your animals, essential oils around your animals, protective elements around your animals, anything that you can in order to provide even the smallest amount of a shield until we can deal with what is going on here.
But the saging and the oil, that just irritates them and pisses them off. This Anubis is already there. You can ask Anubis to protect your animals because that's what he does. But
How do you know he's already here for sure?
I feel it. I mean, he's there. He's there. How could he not be? You guys are living on top of the gate to the other dimension, and he is the traditional gatekeeper. He's just like, oh, I didn't know about this. He wasn't planning on guarding that particular gate. But Anubis will protect your animals. So, what I'm getting from this case is I think the solutions are going to be found in the Egyptian Book of the Dead and in the Egyptian tradition, because the Egyptian tradition is the most prolific tradition when it comes to dealing with the dead and the underworld. They have a book this thick called the Egyptian Book of the Dead.
Now, with that having been said, though, if we're going to go down that route, then the different ways that the Egyptians honored their animals and their people, and whether it was during life or during death, some of those things can be used in order to protect the animals and themselves.
Exactly. But
Whether,
not the sage. Not the sage.
whether it's which for this your animals might not try to eat it, so you got to be careful. But different herbs in particular sachets, just different things that you can do. You're gonna have to study on it and find out what works best.
I got it. Basically, we're gonna have to. No, I'm not getting that it's herbs. And you know what? It's symbols. I think that if you were to if you were to put an ankh on your dog's collar, which is a protected Egyptian symbol, then that would work. If you were to meditate underneath the pyramid that you're going to order today with the dog, I think that would protect the dog too. But Phil and I have discussed it at length, and I think we both agree that the herbs and the oils don't specifically work unless
if you do a symbol, if you're going to do an amulet, then to anoint that would be a good idea, depending on what you want to anoint it with.
With spikenard, I think.
Yeah. See, for me, and I know it isn't an Egyptian thing, but for me, I can't go wrong with dragon's blood. Dragon's blood is the shit for me, and I will bring you some, Julia, because I got the good shit, okay? But you could also do Eye of Horus. You do the Eye of Horus. And I would actually probably go that way before I would go the ankh, just because of the symbolism that's with it. Now, granted, your dog is female, and the ankh is primarily a female symbol. It is to represent the uterus and the ovaries and the vaginal canal. But if you do the Eye of Horus, it is all-encompassing. And that is protection, basically, from the son of Isis. That is the goddess. She is the end-all, be-all, have-all. So if you do that, then you actually might find some relief for your animal. But it's going to go much, much, much deeper than that too. It's going to be a continuing thing until you can get this corralled and controlled.
So we've got to get Anubis in your basement next week, pretty much.
Yeah, what's interesting is that I have an empty fish tank. There's the portal, and then there's a room behind the portal. There's another room. Then there's an empty fish tank, and every once in a while I find dead mice in it, which I don't know how they're getting in there, and they're dead. And I'm saying to myself, is something killing these things for its own, whatever it wants to do? And there it is.
Yeah, we don't see them anywhere else.
That's not a clean, that's an offering. That's an offering.
Oh my!
I don't think so. I think the Batel is just eating them and putting them in the tank.
It wouldn't be. For me personally, I don't feel like it would be in one spot that they would be left. Where they were left would be in a much more symbolic way. If it was an in-your-face kind of thing, there is something there that might be trying to come to an accord, almost like a cat that will do that. They want to bring Mama a gift. Okay, so what do? They bring in a snake to the house. They bring in a mouse to the house. What have you, which isn't always pleasant. This might be something along those lines. Might be, I'm here, this was in your home, I got rid of it for you, this is my proof. And I might be reaching with that. I might be.
I think it's eating them, and it's like, oh, there's a fish tank. Like getting rid of cherry pits. Oh, put it there. No.
I don't know. I would put a video camera up.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. That would be a good idea.
Because the manner in which
it's a good idea, but it's a very scary idea.
What?
It could be.
It's a very scary idea because
Understandably. However, I don't think, and I could be wrong, okay, but I don't think that at this point you can be shocked by much.
No, I agree. You're not right.
Yeah, knowledge is power, and it's the only way that you can arm yourself with what is in your home. So if you have to do,
This is true.
if
This
you
is
have to
true.
do something that makes
Very
you
true.
comfortable in order to figure out how to deal with things, then I think it's worth the level of discomfort that you might feel doing it. I really do. I would want to know.
Yeah, this is why I do this. This is why I have people come here, for that reason. Noreen, can we go to the next picture?
Sure. Okay, the next one is your pool table and a light energy.
I got my phone down here, by the way. I'm looking at it. I'm waiting for it to come out.
Trying to get it up too.
Yeah, my batteries are dying too.
Okay, waiting for it to come up.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
There it is. So a paranormal team that was here, this might have been in November, early December. We heard things in the basement as we were getting ready to try to do an investigation. You know, and I watched these people, and what you see is what you get. It's energy shooting through the air. Thick energy. Now, I'm going to say that, really, I'm sorry?
It came from the room behind it, from the area behind it. If I'm looking at the pool table this
Yes.
way, and it's coming up like this, it actually came from back here, from a room back here, and it swooped and came up like this. You know what I mean? It
Yes.
swooped
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
It actually came around people taking the picture. This was a
Yes.
picture. This was
What's
on
interesting to me is it's in the shape of a cartouche. It's in the shape of an Egyptian cartouche.
I used to have one of those.
I know. I mean, it looks like somebody was throwing you a business card or a cartouche. It's like, this is who I am.
This was meant to be seen.
Yes. It's definitely a message. And I think that
And
if you blow it up and look at it, there's probably stuff on it that's going to look like hieroglyphics. I'm curious to see. But it looks like a cartouche.
Interesting.
yeah, interesting photo. It was a great catch. These things are very quick to the naked eye at the Horsefly home. If some people can see them, some people can't. They're very fast. But when you're lucky and you just keep taking random pictures, this is what happens. And what I did learn is that some of these things are able to transform into different energies. And Noreen, we had on an investigator back years ago came to my home, and he caught it moving. So let's go ahead to the next picture.
Okay, the next one is a young girl, and then next to her looks like a light with a light bulb, and then there's a red circle, and I'm not sure what they're circling. Oops, let me put this on. I'm not sure what they're circling. Something. The unexplained. Somebody sent you this picture.
Seeing it yet. Still waiting for it.
That you
Ah,
Okay, so basically we were doing a post event explaining about the Horsefly Chronicles home. This was in September, and the girl that was actually helping us, we did a video, to show people, and this was caught off guard. And somebody sent this to me that was actually taking pictures. And if you look at it closely, it looks like the face of some kind of entity that's in there.
For you.
That's the portal room.
the same eyes.
Yeah, I'm going to draw it real quick.
Yeah, the same Anunnaki eyes. It's interesting because a lot of people, especially in fiction and in television, use the Egyptian civilization to represent extraterrestrial stuff. I mean, that's the whole thing that Stargate was about. It's the same eyes.
Wow.
Just put liner around them.
And I was telling,
Talk about
me and Julie were talking about it, and I'm going through all my pictures. And
Hey.
you're right about the eyes.
Can I say something? One of the viewers said when everybody stopped talking, they heard, let me see, pull this up. They heard in the background somebody said, "Get out."
Yeah. We've heard that before.
I mean, I didn't hear that now, but
No, not now, but we've heard it before.
Well, they don't like Vanessa and I
yeah.
snooping around. I
Well,
can't wait to
because
see it.
what's actually happening is we're uncovering a lot of stuff. We're getting a lot done tonight. This is amazing.
Well, here's the theory, okay? Because Vanessa's goddess, patron goddess, is the same as mine, which is Kali. The theory is that there was a battle.
I have to plug in the.
Oops. What's going on?
He's got to plug in. His phone's dying.
Oh, okay.
He's plugging in the.
So the theory is that the Egyptians versus the Hindus. You know what I mean? If when we go there, Vanessa, it's going to be the Hindus investigating the Egyptians again, just like in the old days. I know. Especially.
Okay,
Let me see.
this is who I see.
Yes.
Oh
That
my
looks
God.
Exactly like
Yes.
the Anunnaki face.
Is that what you
Yes.
see in that picture?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yes.
It's plain as day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Jeez, I wish I could put both of.
He's kind of looking like this, like he's thrust his chin forward, and he's looking like this up into the camera, almost. And I am not making light of it. I promise. I'm not gonna fall into the giggles.
Hey, Vanessa, can you?
It's like a bomb.
Vanessa, can you send me that picture on Facebook, and I'll see if I can grab it and put it next to the image that we were showing. I'll see if
Sure.
let me see.
Hold on
I'm
a
not sure if
second.
I can do it, but I'll try.
Okay.
There's a question for you, Phil. Do you still use the Ouija board in your house?
No. It's got to the point where I don't even need the Ouija board. And again, I'm not a person that tries to connect with them, but now that they know that I can, it goes right through the mind.
Preach.
And they'll be like,
Yeah.
"What?"
Preach. Right here. Holla. Okay. I feel you. Because damn. All right?
You know what I want to do?
Nerves sometimes.
Yep.
I would want to put a black mirror inside a pyramid and put a camera in front of that and see what shows up inside of the mirror. That would be interesting. Because black mirrors are traditional
Definitely
portal.
not.
Yes. Black
Now-
mirror inside of a pyramid.
Phil, do you notice that when you play particular types of music, your activity increases?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Example, 3 years ago, I played the song Ave Maria, Celtic Woman, an incredibly beautiful song. Something just told me to play it. And when I did, the chandelier is very large, and it started to sway. So, and I ran. I mean, it was scary to see something like that happen, but it was like as if it either didn't like it or it was acknowledging
She liked
that song. And it was a little too much for me.
That
I
was,
have to be honest.
that was
Yeah, I
Sarah.
mean, to me, it feels like it feels like an acknowledgement.
Sarah was Italian, and when I first started scanning and getting to know her, I got that she is very connected to that culture, and to hear somebody or something say something in her own language makes her feel good. So I think I saw Sarah in a past life as an Italian woman.
Do you want me to try to draw the woman that you saw, Phil, that took you between heaven and hell?
Yeah, I'd
I
like
think that
to.
was Sarah,
Yes?
though. But
I
that
did-
wasn't Sarah, was it, Phil?
No.
Sarah's
Not that took
daughter.
me to heaven and hell, no.
Yeah, Sarah is
Yes.
very Italianate features. And when Julia and I were first talking about her, and I went into her previous life, here's the thing that people don't get. Sarah's so powerful because she was a psychic when she was alive, with power to the extent that she could have been a saint if she hadn't been burnt at the stake. Remember that, Jules?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, she's
I remember that
burning
conversation.
And that's why she doesn't like. It's not that she's anti-Christian. She doesn't like the 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 symbolism of it because she died because of it. And so, if you show her something that is symbolic of the faith, it's not that she doesn't love God or Christ. She looks at that and she said, "You killed me. You burned me. I watched my family through the fire, watching me die, thinking that that was okay." And that's what gets her all riled up.
Wow. I'm getting cold chills like an ice cube right now.
Because I think that's true.
I'm getting cold chills.
We've been spending some time together. And so what I did, like the first week that Julie and I started talking to each other, is remember when I made the tea service for the dead? I made a tea service for the dead, and I invited her to come in, and she comes in every once in a while and hangs out, and it's like, she was very powerful. She was very powerful, and she loved God, and she was like, kind of like Joan of Arc. She had that much power, but then she was killed, and it wasn't right.
Hey, Phil. Oh, I'm sorry, honey. Marie, honey. I just got that image that Vanessa drew, and I have the picture that we had shown. So now I'm going to show them. I'm going to show them both together. Okay?
No problem, girl.
Oh, honey, thanks.
No worries.
All right. So I'm showing that right now. It's a 30-second delay, guys.
You know what, while we're doing this, I'm gonna see if I can find that picture of the Anunnaki and see if we can put them all up in a row, because you guys will freak out.
Yes. Oh, yeah, there we go. It's up now.
Wow. Yep.
Okay. Noreen, I'm gonna send you this picture.
Okay, now, honey, I have 2 Facebook pages. So the one you got a request from me today for a friendship, that's the one I use. The other one that you asked for my friendship, I don't use that one hardly ever. So it's the one with my pink face or something on it. Okay.
No, you're gonna.
That's like me too.
Darling, you're gonna freak out because I've been looking at this picture all day, and I'm like, this is. Oh God, where is it? I have so many pictures on my desktop.
Now, Vanessa, what picture are you? What is that you're showing us?
I'm trying to get it. It's not showing up very good, so I'm trying to make it a little bit darker. This is who I saw taking Phil from one dimension to the next.
Oh my God.
Let's see. Oh gosh, it's kind of bright.
Hold it.
I see a face.
Oh yeah. That's better.
Motherfucker.
That's good. Yeah. See it. Awesome. Yep. See it. And if you want to send that to me, that's awesome. Yeah, I can see it.
That's awesome.
It's a 30-second delay on YouTube,
awesome.
but I see it.
I can't. I mean, I'll do a better picture and send it to you, Phil, because that's just like something.
That's amazing.
Super duper fucking.
Well, yeah, and that's amazing because it was
She's only.
the eyes.
Yeah, she had almond-shaped eyes, but they were hooded. You know, they weren't like big eyes. They were just kind of hooded. Thicker on the lashes on top, not on the bottom. Very smooth, pale face. Not big boobs. She didn't have big boobs. She was almost athletic in build and very slim, but not muscular.
Yes.
Like a mannequin.
Yes.
5 feet, 5'4".
Oh, let me see.
Blonde
yeah.
hair down to about below her
Amazing.
hip.
Yeah, I got it,
Yes.
Marie.
And what
Okay.
she wore had a
Amazing picture.
it was it was blue that bordered on white. What she wore, it was almost so light blue it was white. What I see her in,
Yes.
and she's very similar This is weird because on Edge of the Rabbit Hole that Mike and I have, our show, I just talked about a dream that I had of a place that is the only indication that I've ever had personally, aside from seeing a UFO, that there was a different type of life out there, and it's everything in this place was made of glass. And it was like, if you could imagine water being glass, it was so light blue that it was all glass. Every building was glass, and it was, they all sat on these high, lush green mounds, and everybody was walking, but they were walking about 6 inches above ground. It's like gravity meant nothing. And I see her as one of those people. It's very bizarre. She has a lyrical quality to the way that she walks. It's almost like music to watch her. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right.
Very, very energetic, full of life, an abundance of life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, back 2 years ago, she came into my dream, and she took me somewhere, and I was pain-free, and she goes, "This will be soon I'll be coming back for you." And I didn't even tell my wife this. This was 2 years ago. And she always takes me over bodies of water. Always.
Did she explain to you what the color? There were these.
I'm sorry?
Did she explain to you what the colors meant? Because there are these bright prisms of color.
No, she would take my hand, and I would feel her. Everything. Her love, her emotion, and she would just say, through the mind, "I'm coming for you soon." Now, don't forget, when I talk about the beginning of my story of heaven and hell, she knew I was getting pulled into hell. She knew it. And I talked about that. And I talked about it very deeply on the first show I did with Noreen. She knew where I was going. And 2 points of my life, and only 2 points of my life, she has come back. One, when I was 10 years old, I was walking down the street with my family, and she came as a young girl, and I says, "You're here?" She goes, "Yes. Only you can see me." But my older sister was able to see her too. And we discovered that a few years ago in a conversation. And then she says, "I'll come and meet you again, another point in your life." And then a year and a half ago, she came through the dream.
But Phil, she's always been with you. Phil, she's your guardian angel.
She's family.
She's your guardian angel, man. You've got 3 of them, but she's your most prominent one. You can only see her at certain times, but she's always with you.
Okay.
Guardian angel. That's what people call her guardian angel. That's why when she saw you falling, she was like, "Oh, no. You're my Phil." That's why she protects you, man.
She says sister.
Well, everybody
You know,
has,
that's interesting.
everybody has 3 guardian angels, so he could have 3 sisters.
It's interesting that you say sister, Vanessa, because my mom had a child that died a couple months old, and then I came right after.
Interesting. Wow.
Sister.
Wow.
Sister.
Wow.
Phil, I have that picture that Marie sent me. Can I show it?
Yes.
Marie. Okay.
I'm waiting.
You can start explaining it, Marie. It'll be there in any second.
Okay. I don't think I need to explain much. Look familiar, guys?
Wow. The eyes.
Did I call it?
Yes.
Yeah, I told
Yeah.
you. I mean, and you know, and Sarah's pretty cool with them. She's like, the Anunnaki, they're all right. Phil, darling, your relatives are there, your ancestors are there, Sarah's there, and the Galactic Federation.
Oh,
You guys
wow.
need a manager for the gate, because You guys are Grand Central Station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are. I mean, it's amazing that picture with the eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. These are you're like the barstow for the Anunnaki. They stop in, they get gas, they get French fries, and then they go.
Yeah, and then they come back.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
Wow.
You guys need a gatekeeper down there who's going to tell them, okay, you guys can stay for a couple days, but don't mess up, don't bother the family, don't eat the dogs, and clean up your mess before you go.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what needs to happen there.
Yeah, we gotta figure that out. We gotta figure that one out.
Yeah, but no, there's definitely.
That's amazing.
I told you. I mean, through the whole thing, I had chills. Yeah, it's them.
The alien ties, I definitely agree.
Yeah, it not
Lori,
just.
what are you thinking?
Oh man, it's amazing. It's so weird. I'm telling you, Phil, every time you do a show with me, you find out more information each time. And it's different information. It's amazing.
Yes. 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 Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
It's like you're putting pieces to the puzzle together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Noreen, was there another picture or the video?
Oh no. Okay. Now wait a minute. Now, now there was another picture you sent me of the front of your house. This one's darker, but I see your the hanging light in the middle of the doorway, and then off to the side is the light on the side of the house. So what are you seeing in that picture?
Okay, I'm just waiting for it to pull up.
Wow.
Okay.
There are the eyes.
Yeah. Now.
We were just looking at their picture. Hello.
Oh, so that's
there it
the
is.
one. Oh.
You get it?
Oh, well, you also sent me a picture of during a daytime of the side of your house where you have a large window. Was there something also in that picture as well?
Well, what happens, Noreen, is something tells me to take pictures at certain times. Now, also in this picture, I know we can't zoom it in. I don't think we can.
Oh well,
but
let me see.
on the top of the banister, there's two what I would call children,
All right, hold on.
shadow children,
Yes.
in there as well.
At the top, I can.
It's as almost if it's saying, sorry.
All right, hold on. And you know what's really funny too is that I'm sure it's just because of the shadows and everything, but the side of your house where the side light is there by the doorway, it looks like a guy in a suit standing there. But I'm sure it's just because of the way the shadows are. All right, hold on. I can zoom in on that. I can send another picture. Do you see what I'm talking about? Do you see that picture I'm showing you? See how it looks like
It
a
looks
guy?
like, yeah, I mean, I'm getting like someone's on guard at this house. Like someone's like wants to be the leader of one of these things.
Well, that's probably why they're having a power struggle then.
But I mean, I see
Yes.
I see a man in a suit, black suit with a tie, and I see his face, although it's blurred with black hair. You guys
Are
don't
you talking about left of the front door?
looking at the picture to the right, under the light, under the side light on the house light.
Okay.
Oh.
There are two that are like sentries that are actually standing in front of the door, right next to each one of the long windows.
All
Two
right.
of them.
Okay, I can zoom on that.
Scene.
All right, let me right now, Phil. I've zoomed in on the staircase upstairs. So let me show you that picture, and I'll zoom in on the other one as well.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I can do
It's
that.
directly behind the light, Noreen, upstairs.
Oh, can you guys see it?
I can. And it just came from the room that is at the top of the stairs to the right, if you're looking at the front of the house. you can actually see the trail of energy coming from that open-doored room.
Yeah.
And it stops right behind the chandelier. You can see the trail of energy.
That's my 6-year-old's room, and
Yep.
that's why he don't want to sleep in there.
Yeah.
He won't sleep in the room.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna send you guys. I'm gonna show the other picture zoomed in with the side windows as well as the top. So, okay, here is this a better picture for you? It's coming. All right, come on, YouTube.
I know, right?
A 30-second delay is ridiculous.
No, you're gonna have
There it goes. See it?
I can't see it yet.
Okay, mine's there.
I see the picture, but I don't see where it is.
Yeah. Directly behind the light, you can actually see the body behind the two areas there, Phil. Excuse me, if you'll look, the larger part of the chandelier and then you have the smaller part on top. You can see it on the right side in between those two areas. Then the top of what would be its head is above the small part of the chandelier.
Yeah.
And if you look
Yep,
closely,
yep.
if you look closely,
Awesome catch.
you can actually
Wow.
see the energy, the stream of energy behind it, and the area in which it came from.
Vanessa,
Wow.
Yeah,
When was this?
would you say that that is a halo above there?
it very well could be. It's very,
I know. I was like, we've got the dark figure on the bottom, and then we've got the figure with the halo on top.
you see directly in front of the door, I mean right in the center, if you were to draw a straight line through the chandelier and come down, that is the separating line between the two people that I see standing directly in front of the front door. And they almost remind me of bouncers, like what you would see in a bar. You've got to stand right there, not allowing anything to come in.
So they're basically, they're trying to divide the house already.
Yeah.
They've divided the house into their own territories. And so it's like, okay, this is the Galactic Federation waiting room. This is the angelic waiting room, and you guys are over here.
Now, what bothers me when I look at this picture, if I was to be standing directly in front of this house and walk through these doors and go all the way to the back of the house and go to the left and go into the far corner of the house in that area, everything bothers me in that area, from ceiling, from the top of the roof, straight down. And to me, it feels like there is almost a swirling of energy that comes from the ground all the way up, and
So
it's
that's where
affecting.
the part of the vortex is then.
Yeah, is that where it is? It's actually affecting everything on the outside of the house as well, in that far back corner.
Yeah. All right, so that's where the center of the vortex is. Have you guys had people out with EMF detectors and electromagnetic
Yes.
frequencies,
Yes.
and where have they picked up the center of the energy?
In the backyard and in the basement, the middle of the house in the basement.
Okay, so that's where the ley line lays, right? So if the vortex
Yes.
is to the left, then that means that there's energy leaking out that way. I'm kind of nauseated, not really going into it because I keep on having to go to the bathroom because every time it's like, I get a stabbing pain.
It's like the center of the house, it's X marks the spot. And from the center of the house, if you were to put a pole directly in the center and then go out in 4 separate directions, earth, air, fire, water, with spirit technically being directly in the center,
Right.
then it's the energy is coming out in an X form. And it has an undulating feel to it, which is very bizarre. Now, here's my question.
Oh, no, wait a minute. When that happens, not only could it be a ley line, but you know the legend about how the old ones are underneath the ley lines?
Yeah.
Okay, are you telling me there's like a Cthulhu thing under there, kind of swirling around.
It's an undulating feeling, which is why the energy
You
moves
have
through the house.
You got a Cthulhu thingy.
Here's the thing.
Stop.
It moves.
I've got to go to the bathroom now, and as soon as I said that, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Take it, the next time you're
It moves clockwise. So, activity and how it's happening, you're going to notice a pattern. You're going to notice it by the time of day, by the phase of the moon, everything. It's in an undulating clockwork pattern in how it travels through the house. This isn't all things, but this is the major activity. Here's the thing. You can counteract that. It's like at one point in time, the area was opened going clockwise. Well, the way that you close it is to go counterclockwise. And I don't think that was ever done.
Well, I don't think it can be closed, though, Vanessa.
Depends on how long it was open.
If there is a tentacled creature underneath there, I mean, H.P. Lovecraft was not completely insane. I think he did see stuff. This is a lot like the Cthulhu mythos. Okay, if there is an old one underneath there, then the old one's life force is feeding off of. This is suddenly we've gone into Arkham. You know that, right? This is like the Arkham Ipswich mythos. Yeah, this is H.P. Lovecraft territory, people.
It's very interesting because it has a water movement, undulating
Cthulhu.
tide being pulled by the moon.
Cthulhu. Oh boy. Yeah, well.
Is there any
Staying
reason?
at the hotel.
Can I ask you, Vanessa and Marie, a question? Is there any reason for Phil and Julia to worry about? I know everywhere they go, it follows them. They can't get away. It doesn't make any difference. They can't get away from it. But is there a concern for them and the family? Are they in any kind of danger in any way?
No, not even a little bit.
This is what they were meant to do.
Yeah, the animals are in more danger simply because they don't really have any control over their environment and how to deal with things. Phil, Julia, and the boys really are not in what I would consider to be life-threatening danger or any substantial danger at all, because they're doing and are exactly where they're supposed to be. This is what they're supposed to do. Phil could not help the circumstances in which he was born in. Yeah, I don't mean to make light of that, Phil. But when you're talking about where you were born, the circumstances in which you were born, the fact that you had a sibling pass away right before you, which opened you up to the other side without any help from anything else already. Anytime you're that young and you have a sibling pass away, you have an automatic connection to the other side. Not going to change. Anytime you have all these factors that have come together, it isn't meant to destroy you. It's meant to enlighten you. And it's meant to enlighten you so that you can educate others. And so I don't feel that they have been put in this situation to cause them any harm or detriment. They've been put in this situation because they were strong enough to handle it, and because they are sane enough to deal with it, and smart enough to share it.
But now, Phil and Julia, how are you feeling? I know that I believe that you think that there are demonic entities in your home, and you would know because you live this day in and day out. How are you feeling? Are you feeling that now? And I've actually seen you, Phil, on camera, pass out on camera, get possessed and pass out. So how are you feeling?
Well, sometimes it takes you off guard and all the emotions are gone. And it fills that void within the person's soul of complete hatred, anger. And that's when I know that some of these things that are around are not good, because it just fills you with that. And going back to what Vanessa said, she goes, you're supposed to be teaching the world. I think I'm supposed to be. And now Julia's getting into it, because it's a tough battle. It's a mentally tough battle to do this, to go through this. Sometimes the life comes out of you, like I'm a walking shell, like there's nothing in me. And I think it's them. And other times I get the realism of why it's happening. I'm supposed to be understanding it. Mm-hmm. It's not all peaches and cream. And it's sometimes it's very evil. It's just pure evil that bounces around, and it tries to find your weakest link and break you down. So, I learned to live with it. But then, on the flip side, I get confused because when I talk to Sarah, and a couple of the videos that we're going to show, she listens to me. She has opened up doors for me. And going back to now what Marie said, that you could be living in a mansion, it's funny but yet true because of the power of opening up the doors. And I think what Marie was trying to say earlier as well is that if you're able to understand it, it can work with you. And I think that tonight's show with Vanessa, Marie, it's like opening up a fresh bottle of wine. Like, this is true. I feel what they're saying. They're so right. There's different things here. It's not just a ghost. It's multiple things. And, when you say about them being on guard, I totally believe that. Because in my mind, 2 years ago, before ministry came here, in my mind, like, they put a suit on me. And they're like, you're going to need this for tomorrow, which would have been the day of the exorcism, to protect myself and the home. And I felt like they guard this property, this home, and this family, but yet their energy sometimes can be compelling to the family.
Yeah. Well, Phil, if you don't mind, let me say this, Phil, and I need you to understand this, okay? And I go into a lot more detail in my book, but in the one that's coming out. But I have to tell you this: I know exactly where you're coming from. Okay. We had a show, Mike and I, on Edge of the Rabbit Hole a few weeks ago, and I posed a question because I honestly thought I was the only one. Okay. I posed a question: what do you do? How do you deal with, and how does it change your life? This was to our guest Lee Ehrlich. When you have looked into the eyes of pure evil and something that you should be unbelievably afraid of, and it looks back at you with compassion. How do you reconcile that? And it took me voicing that question for me to understand that because I have done that, and it has shaped me to be the person that I am, I have a responsibility to A, not let that evil take over just because it shows compassion to me, and B, to take all of these experiences that I've had, however horrific, and y'all will find out because they're not good, they're bad, and take those experiences and make sure that I do whatever I can to educate others who find this so fascinating simply because of what they've seen on TV. This isn't fucking Hollywood. This is not glamorized. This is life, and the only life we know. And people don't know what it's really like. But I know what you're feeling. I know what you're going through. And I know how much it fucking sucks sometimes. But you've got to stay your course. You dabbled in stuff that you shouldn't dabble in earlier. You opened up a few doors maybe you shouldn't have opened up. You're older now. You're wiser now. You're calmer now. You take this experience and you do with it what you were meant to do. And that's teach. And I know you can.
Yeah, and that's what I do as best as I can. It's very interesting. And, and again, I go back to Sarah because I feel like if it wasn't for Sarah, a lot of the doors would have not been opened for me. And in times of trouble, back in the mid-90s, when the new millennium came, I had some issues, serious issues I was dealing with. And she pushed those people away and opened up the doors for new things. It's funny how the spiritual world works and how she works. She's able to be a protector and almost like you could be invisible towards your enemy, but yet she can make a new opportunity come that wasn't even there in the mind's eye, but yet it appears the following day. And her strength and her energy is unbelievable. I don't know truly the face value of everything she can do, but I know that her power is almost endless. What I've seen and what I experienced. And that's why I do this. And the couple of videos that Noreen's going to show, it's me talking to Sarah, and she comes, and you're going to see it on actual footage and in energy.
Okay, but you know what? I have another question for Marie and Vanessa. Why have the aliens been introduced to Phil's case?
I think they've always been there. I think the alien influence has been there since the beginning of human civilization. There's a theory that we evolved because of them, and that we are descended from them. And I think that a lot of that is true, especially for people with extrasensory abilities. When they did research on the DNA of 2 Egyptian kings and queens, I think there were the Tutankhamun line, they had weird shaped heads that they thought were the result of head binding. But when they went into their DNA, there was non-human DNA in there. So I think they've always been around. I think they've always influenced us.
Okay.
We actually just covered the subject on Edge of the Rabbit Hole the other night. We did, and I believe whether you're talking about new souls, people who this is their first time on this earth, or whether you're talking about something like a child prodigy who seems to know everything from birth. You know, people, aliens, whatever you want to call them, extraterrestrials, ghost spirits, whatever. We're all put here to learn and to teach, and to have balance. Nature, nothing about it exists without balance. Good and evil, black and white. You have to have it. And when we talked about child prodigies, it's possible. It's a theory that they are brought from other dimensions, other planets, whatever you want to call it, and put on this earth for us to learn something from them. Now, whether we choose to do that or not is totally up to us. And unfortunately, mostly we focus on, cash me out people instead of these child prodigies. But that could be one of their purposes. So I agree with Marie. It isn't that they're just now being put here to do this. They always have been. We just haven't always been smart enough to catch on.
Yeah. The other thing that I wanted to say is, Phil, I don't think you made any mistakes. I think you had to explore what you needed to explore. And the doors that you opened, you had to open to go through or to learn how to close. And I think that your relationship with Sarah is extremely special because, and I knew that she wasn't a demon immediately because Sarah can love and demons can't. And I sensed that with her. So I knew she was a human being at one time. And I also, when I was talking to Julia about it, I also think that she may be one of your ancestors because spirits often appear to their descendants. In Asia, there's a whole tradition of ancestor worship that the Western civilization isn't even aware of. But in China, Thailand, the Philippines, we put out offerings to our dead and our ancestors all the time. And in magic, even in the United States, especially in voodoo, ancestor worship is very important. And I feel like Sarah is connected to you in some way, somehow. Genetically. I think she's part of your bloodline, and she recognized that. So that's why she protects you. She protects all of you because you're her family.
Interesting.
She's Aunt Sarah. Aunt Sarah's watching over her family.
So is Sarah Sarah young or old?
Sarah died when she was a young girl. The way that I saw it was that she was dedicated to the church. She was very, very devout. She had extrasensory abilities. She was a lot like Joan of Arc. She was a very gifted young woman. And in those days, they either burnt you at the stake or they put you in a nunnery because they didn't know what to do with you. In her case, her family put her in a nunnery. And I saw that she was being abused or molested by somebody in the church that said, you know what? You're not going to say no to me. And she was burned unjustly. So I think she could have been like a great aunt or a great-great aunt that died. And the thing that really made me cry when I was seeing this with Julia was they buried her face down in unhallowed ground, which is how they bury witches. And for for somebody to have loved God that much. You know what I mean? I tear up whenever I talk about this. For somebody to have loved God that much, to have been buried as a witch, face down in unhallowed ground, that, you know, she had PTSD for several centuries, Noreen. She had PTSD, and then she recognized somebody in her line, and she thought, okay. And through the years, through her relationship with Phil, she's been healing and getting back to herself. But this is her family. She's never going to leave them. She's Aunt Sarah.
You know, I'm getting a feedback. I'm getting a feedback. Does somebody have a TV or...
I do too, and I don't have anything on.
It's when Marie talks, I'm getting a feedback.
Not here.
Yeah, is that better?
It's only when you talk.
I know. But that happens a
Well,
lot.
I'm just...
Electronic equipment, because I give off a really strong electromagnetic field. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. Well, I mean, I just been listening to this, and I don't know if it's your voice that we're hearing the repeating of, because sometimes that happens, that there is a feedback. But anyway, so Phil, let's show. We have 4 videos to show the viewers, and these 2 videos, I'll just play one after another. Is that okay, or do you want to play one at a time?
No. We play one so I can explain it and then go to the other one.
All right, so the first one I'm going to show, you had labeled it Talking to Sarah. All right, so let me play that. It's...
Talk.
Sarah, do you want to talk to Julie?
Are you happy with your new office? With your new space?
okay. All right, it's finished.
So I didn't put the audio on. Yeah, I didn't put the audio on because I want the feedback. But in the beginning, I believe this is the one where she says, "Don't talk."
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, yes. So what happened was, this is the portal. This room is set up exactly how she wants it. She wants it set up a certain way, and she tells me through my mind what she wants where. And then me and Julie, back a couple months ago, went in the portal, and she was just going to do some recording, and that's what she got. And then Vanessa, I think Julie forwarded it to you as well. And then you would try. I think you came up with like some English, like in English, like as if she was from far away. Like she has a distinctive voice, Sarah.
Cockney. It's like the Cockney.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I suck at mimicking, so I ain't even gonna embarrass y'all that way. But yeah, like that.
Okay, and there's a part 2 to that.
That was an amazing EVP.
Whoops. Oh, shoot. Yeah, okay, so now you had a part 2 to that, so let me go ahead and play part 2 to that. All right, here we go, guys.
That was flashed on.
Here we go.
Sarah, if you're over there, can you come around? Can you say hello?
What's going on over there, you guys?
I see it too.
I mean,
Hey guys, don't talk.
I'm not interested in them
Sarah?
business. I'm interested in what's going on with you guys.
They can hear you talking.
Come
with the
upstairs.
video.
Yeah. I just got a headache.
Okay, so in this video, again,
Open the basement
my
door.
mind, she's like, start recording. So I start recording. Sarah, can you hear me? Can you not? And then let's just watch what happens.
Can you make the light flicker? Can you show me where you are?
There it goes. If you caught it, I don't know if you can go back a little bit, but if you
I
catch it,
can't.
go right through the wall.
Oh yeah, they got it. They saw it. Yeah. Yeah, they saw it.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so one of the viewers said they got the chills.
I never got to see
Yep,
it.
yep.
All right, so the next two videos, these are Sarah responding to you, Phil, and then energy floating. And these, so the first, and both of these were just labeled the Horsefly. Let me see what else you said about that. Oh, I can't find it. Anyway, so here I'm going to play the first one. This one's 18 seconds.
It's always to the door. Don't point at me.
Sarah, if you can hear me, knock on the door. Like this. Why are you walking into me?
Bless you.
Thank you.
And I'll show the second one. And this one's 10 seconds, guys.
Go ahead, go. Hit play.
Let me do justice. Watch.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was
Amazing. Now, I have to tell the audience why it was filmed that way, because my son, I had his phone, but he couldn't forward it to me. It was an amazing capture, so I had to re-record it. And but this is how she shows herself, very quick, like a ball of energy, and then through the mind's eye, she appears as a 13, 14-year-old. And now, this one is her actual voice. Let me do justice. Watch.
Turn it up.
Oh, I already played it. I already played both of them, Phil.
Okay.
You can go ahead. Did you want to say something about the second one on that?
The second one was an actual recording of her voice. Let me do justice. Watch. Which I think we might have played in a previous episode. It's Class A EVP, how strong she can come through. Very rare. Very, very rare. And as you know, the energy sometimes is so strong that and only way people really understand it, if you're here, you bring your camera or your equipment, and I call her, not all the time, but sometimes she'll come right through the walls.
Wow.
Interesting. Wow. Well, you certainly have a fabulous story, Phil. And I have, let's see, I have it. Okay, so what about your two books? The Horsefly Chronicles, The Curse, and let's see, I can hardly read this one, and the Horsefly Chronicles, A Demonic Haunting. Those books can be purchased on Amazon. Now, what about this other book with Sarah in the front? Has that been published? The Shadows of Sarah?
Not yet. That's called The Shadows of Sarah. It hasn't been published yet because there's so much activity here. It's just like you get thrown off course. You know, you have intent to write, and bring it out there to the public, and then you just get thrown. You get mind frozen sometimes in this house. So eventually that will happen. You know, I bring a lot. One thing I could tell people is this: when I bring a lot of the paranormal teams here, they get drained very quickly. They come here with excitement and ambition to do the investigation, and then maybe 30, 40, 50 minutes in, their mindset slowly starts to drift. What's in this home plays trickery, deception, and there's multiple things. And tonight is an incredible episode. I mean, Marie and Vanessa, wow. I'm impressed, right, Joel?
Yeah.
Because
I don't have any doubt.
I'm not the guy who has the knowledge of the Anunnakis and ancient civilizations. That's not my thing. I'm just the guy who lives the haunted life with my family, and I try to do the best to teach people, yes, you can communicate. Yes, these things are real. And then we bring out the best people to come forward and help us with the research and development and show the world that these things are real.
Yeah.
And a horsefly home is a lot of energy here, a tremendous amount of energy, both positive and negative. Go into the portal, and after an hour you just feel like you're not yourself anymore. And that's when I got taken over, Noreen, back
Just
a
being
year
down
and a half
here
ago.
gives you a headache.
Yeah.
It just drains you, and it takes whoever wants to be in you. That's who comes out. It's like, Marie, we were talking, you said in voodoo or Haiti, right? Where it's maybe a belief in a culture that they are able to communicate with the dead through the dead coming through the living. That's what it feels like here sometimes.
It's called Chevalier, to be ridden by a god.
Well, I have a question, Phil, and I need to know if this has ever happened in the Horsefly home, because it will probably happen while I'm there, because apparently it's what I do. They like to talk through me, and I'm not there. So y'all need to be forewarned. Being forewarned is forearmed, okay? Because I just lose time. So if they decide that they want to start talking, if Sarah decides she wants to start talking, if I start acting weird or doing something like that, and Gwen from BPI can verify this, my best friend Jana can, Ryan C. Jones from the 360 Cabin, he's seen it. Dennis had already left. But they do that. They hop on in, they drive me like a taxi, then they hop on out, and then I'm there. So, y'all, if that happens...
I can't remember. Right?
I have
you can't remember.
Yeah, I have no recollection of it. So, if that happens, please record or at least write down what is said, because I will not know.
Hey,
But
Phil.
it's something important.
Well,
When,
if you end up at Bloomingdale's with me having a martini, you'll know that Sarah and I went out for a drink.
hey, Phil, when you do that, if Vanessa's going to be there, I'm not sure if Maria's going to be there as well. Maria, are you going to be there as well?
Yeah, I'm going to try my best.
If you want to go live with me, as long as it's on a Monday, Tuesday, or a Thursday, and a Thursday that I'm not having a show, because I'm doing every other week now, I would love to do that live if you want to do that.
Possibility.
Yeah.
Just depends on what days I think we go.
It's up to Phil. Yeah, it's up to Phil. I don't know what day you're going to do it.
Yeah, I'm open. I'm always open. I'm easygoing. So whenever they come down, whatever you want to do, be my guest.
I mean, I would love to see them in action. I would love to see them in action, and show the viewers. I mean, it's up to you. Just get a hold of me. I'd be happy to do that. Well, again, another awesome show with Phil Siracusa, and I will put up links to the other shows that he's aired with me. There's some fascinating shows, and the first time I ever had Phil on the show was unbelievable. His story is unbelievable. So I want to thank you again so much for being on the show tonight, Phil, Julia, Marie, and Vanessa. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to meet you, Marie. I have an upcoming show, 2 upcoming shows with Vanessa as usual, our ghost pictures, and I am so damn excited. I'm doing airing a show with Vanessa and with Julia. They are going to Long Island. I don't know if you've ever heard of Cropsey, the legend of Cropsey. They call him the boogeyman of Long Island, and it involves Holly. It involves Holly, who was one of the little girls who disappeared on Long Island, and Julia happened to be a friend, and she will tell her story when we air the show. But I'm so excited about that show. Sorry, Phil. I just had to say that. So anyway, so stay tuned for that. I'll be posting that. Again, my guest, thank you so much for being on the show. Phil, anytime you want to come on, you're always welcome. You know that. Awesome. So I'm gonna
Thank you so much. Thank you. Tonight was great. I've learned a lot tonight from these ladies. I've learned a lot. Thank you.
Oh yeah, it was awesome show. Marie, a pleasure to meet you, guys. Thank you so much for being on the show. Have a great week. Thank you so much. Good night. Good night.
Thank you. Everyone have a great night. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Hey everybody. I hope you enjoyed the show. It was friggin' awesome. Always a good show with Phil and the two, and Marie and Vanessa. Oh my God. They bring so much to the table. And Julia, she's awesome as well. Anyway, so everybody, thank you so much for joining me tonight. A 2-hour show. I didn't mean for it to be a 2-hour show. I usually only do an hour and 15 minutes. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Group hugs. Let me do a fast shout out. Now, my next scheduled show was for May 17th. But I'm going back to Las Vegas. We have tickets to see Journey. No, not Journey. We're going to see Journey June 29th. Oh my God, a Queen with Adam Lambert, who is now the lead singer. And we already got our tickets. We got our plane fare. We're ready to go May 17th, going back to Las Vegas. I'm so excited. If I can, I may do a show next Thursday because I'm not doing a show on the 17th. But I'll post it if I am. But I do have a show already posted. It's for the 25th. It's going to be a good show. It's a haunted, cursed dam. It's called the, oh my God. Can you, I set up the event. Do you think I could remember it? How? Anyway, it's on my face. It's on my, Paranormal Zone YouTube channel. So everybody, thank you so much for being here. Group hugs. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. For those who may still be here and haven't subscribed, if you subscribed, I'd appreciate it. And let's do fast shout outs. I want to thank first of all, I want to thank my mod, Royce Hinman, for always being here every week with me and keeping the chat room like it is. We have a fabulous chat room because of Royce. So, love you, Royce. Send positive healing thoughts to Royce. He's not doing well. He needs them. Also, Jimmy Cortez, I saw him in earlier. He also needs your positive thoughts. Everybody, let's do a shout out. Haunted Roads Media. That's Mike Ricksecker, and that he and Vanessa Hogel do a radio show. An awesome, actually it's live on YouTube now. Mike, if you want to put in your name of your show on YouTube, a rabbit hole I think it is, Mike, I'm not sure, forgive me, but that Haunted Roads Media, Mike Bricksecker, and host with Vanessa Hogel, Kathy Salento, Zoe Small, 82, Mama Joe Buffalo, Rachel Phillips, Lully Tooby, Morrow Madness, Monica Amethyst, Angela Rodriguez, and I know Carl White was in, Princess Patricia, Nancy Soplavita, Tammy Sifford, Summer Sims, Joanne D, Tammy Sifford. Oh, again, okay. Anybody else want to shout out? We had a big crowd tonight. Thank you again all for joining us. Bridget Willis, Miller. Anybody else want to shout out before I go? Hi on Emmy. Anybody else want to? Carl, there you are, honey. My faithful Carl White, 4 a.m. in the morning. Love you, Carl. From the UK. Thank you. Beyond Perception Investigations. Joanne D. Charmy Vapesniffy. I'm terrible. I'm sorry. Oh, you're welcome, Mike. Yes, there you go. Edge of the Rabbit Hole on Haunted Roads Media Channel. That is on live on YouTube. I think it's on Tuesdays. Yes, Bridget Willis. There's Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy, we love you, honey. Send positive vibes to Jimmy. He needs them. We love you, Jimmy. Thank you for being here. Kimmy Craft. Anybody else? Okay, hugs, everyone. My husband's waiting to have dinner with me. Tammy Croft. Anybody? I'm gonna have dinner now with my husband. We're gonna watch the Warriors game. I hope they win. Keeping my fingers crossed. Mary U Castillo. 11. Oh, Trisiago. Kim Riley, Nancy Soplavita. I think Vanessa might be going live on her Facebook page. Stephen Curry, love you, Stephen Curry. Yes, and I love Stephen Curry, who's on the Warriors. Charlotta Matha. Anybody else? Angie Brocato. Italian names, awesome. Anybody else want to shout out? Deborah Leatherby. Okay, guys, gotta go. My Warriors game started. My dinner's getting cold. And, oh, thanks, Mike. Oh, Diane Hilbert. Okay, guys, love you. Check my Facebook page and don't forget, check my YouTube channel. I do have a show already scheduled. I had to push him up. I think he's on the 25th. If I can, I'll get a show together maybe for next Thursday. Misty Dawn, hi. Okay, so anyway, just check my YouTube channel. You can always sign up at Paranormal Zone, Paranormal Zone TV at paranormalzone.tv, and go to the webpage tab that says show reminders, okay? So I'm going to go. Love you guys. Thank you for being here, and I will see you on the next show. Good night, everyone. Thank you. I love you.